All right, let's get into it. Today, we're taking a hard look at the dark underbelly of the crypto world. We're not hunting for the next 100x gem. Nope. We're learning how to spot the traps and sidestep the scams that could wipe you out completely. We're going to kick things off with this quote because, honestly, it sets the stage perfectly. In a world where fortunes can vanish in the blink of an eye, you have to understand that free advice is often the most expensive lesson you will ever learn. It really makes you ask, what's the real cost here? And that very question leads us directly to our first big idea, the price of free. Getting this concept is without a doubt your first line of defense in the space. Okay, this is so important to get. In crypto, if you're not paying for a product, you are the product. It's that simple. All that so-called free alpha you see on Twitter, it's often designed with one goal in mind, to turn you into exit liquidity. That's just a fancy way of saying you're the person they're selling to right before the price crashes. You're left holding the bag. This slide just lays it out perfectly. There are really two ways to play this game. On one side, you've got the herd. Their strategy is pretty much buy, hodl, and hope for the best. They follow the crowd and, well, they end up becoming that exit liquidity we just talked about. But then you've got the smart money. They don't hope. They operate. They invest in actual knowledge so they can consistently pull profits from the market. They're not here for the memes. They're here for the money. So who's preying on the herd? It's time to pull back the curtain and meet the predators of this ecosystem. Let's talk about the scamfluencers. Now, take a look at this. This isn't just a random collage of profiles. Think of this as a wall of shame. Every single account you see here has a habit of blocking anyone who calls them out for shilling bad projects. It's a pretty powerful visual, right? It shows a coordinated effort to control what you see and to silence anyone who tries to warn you. So what exactly is a scamfluencer? Let's break it down. It's an influencer who makes money by lying to you. They'll take secret payments, usually in crypto, to promote absolute garbage projects, knowing full well that when the whole thing collapses, it's their followers, it's you, who will be left with worthless tokens. And you know what's crazy? They almost all follow the same script. First, they push these tiny nano-cap coins with very little liquidity, because it means a small amount of buying pressure can make the price explode. They coordinate all this in private groups, and they get paid in crypto so there's no paper trail. And to make you trust them, they'll write these long, smart-sounding threads that seem like value, but it's all a setup. And here's the real secret. They have to keep doing this because they aren't actually good traders. This is their business model. And here's what that playbook looks like in the wild. This is proof. You can see multiple so-called gurus all pushing the exact same obscure coin, all within hours of each other. And look at those liquidity numbers. $10,000? $100,000? That's nothing. It makes the price ridiculously easy to pump up before they dump it on their followers. This is a classic coordinated pump and dump. It's one of the biggest red flags you can possibly see. You know, even when it's not a straight-up scam, the advice you get can be just as dangerous. This chart tracks the calls of a hugely popular influencer, and the pattern is just undeniable. They get super bullish and excited right at the market tops, and then they get terrified and bearish right at the bottom. Following their advice is basically a masterclass in how to buy high and sell low. All of this brings us to the ultimate weapon in the scammer's arsenal, the rug pull. So let's get our hands dirty and dissect exactly how these things are put together. First, I just need you to really let this number sink in. Some estimates say that a staggering 99% of all new crypto projects are created for one reason and one reason only, to take your money and disappear. Think about that. Your default setting for any new coin you hear about should be, this is probably a scam until proven otherwise. Let's walk through one of the most infamous examples of all time, the Luna collapse. So where does it begin? It always begins at the peak of euphoria. The price is at an all-time high, everyone feels like a genius, and the founder Do Kwon tweets this: "We're just getting started." This is not an accident. It's a calculated move to trigger maximum FOMO and suck in one last wave of buyers right at the absolute top. Then the collapse begins. And as the price is nosediving, the psychological games continue. He tweets, "Deploying more capital, steady lads." This is pure bait. It's designed to give people false hope, to make them think, oh, it's just a dip, I should buy more. In reality, they're just throwing good money after bad, providing the liquidity for the insiders to cash out. And this is the final act. After billions of dollars in savings have been incinerated, the founder posts this casual apology. Look at the language he uses. He calls it an invention, like it was some failed science fair project, not a catastrophic implosion that financially ruined countless people.
Now, it's really easy to blame the scammers, and we absolutely should. But here's the tough part. They can only succeed if we let them. So we have to look in the mirror and talk about the enemy within. Let's explore the psychological traps that make us such easy prey. Be honest with yourself when you see this question, because what's coming next? Well, it might feel a little too real for some of you. Oh, this chart. This is the emotional roller coaster of pretty much every retail investor. It maps out the entire journey. You're too scared to buy down here in the disbelief phase. But then the price goes vertical and you get that intense FOMO. You have to get in. You feel like a genius at the top. You buy the first dip thinking it's a bargain. And then you just hold on in denial all the way back down to despair. Sound familiar? We can actually boil that whole chaotic journey down into this 5-step cycle. It starts with FOMO and greed. Then comes euphoria, where you feel untouchable and you're dreaming of that 10,000x gain. That's followed by denial, where a 50% crash is just a healthy pullback. And it always, always ends in the same place. Despair, when you're left holding a completely worthless bag. And what is the drug that fuels this entire cycle? It's this stuff right here, hopium. It's that irrational belief that your coin is going to the moon, no matter how much evidence to the contrary piles up. Look, having a positive outlook is great, but being high on hopium is the fastest way to go broke. Okay, that was a lot of doom and gloom, I know, but here's the good news. We can fight back. So now for the most important part of this whole thing, your survival guide. This is the actual toolkit you need to navigate this minefield. When you're looking at an influencer, use this 5-point checklist. First, demand proof. Are they sharing their ideas before the move, or are they just bragging after the fact? Second, check the liquidity on the coins they shill. Low liquidity is a huge red flag. Third, think about their business model. If they're such an amazing trader, why are they spending all their time selling you a course? Fourth, follower count means nothing. It can be bought for cheap. And finally, do your own homework. A quick search of their name plus the word scam can save you a lot of pain. And when you're looking at a project, burn these red flags into your brain. See a bunch of influencers suddenly promoting it all at once? That's a bad sign. See the chart go straight up overnight? Bad sign. Do they promise you generational wealth but have no actual product? Run. In crypto, if something seems too good to be true, it always, always is. So we'll end with this. The crypto market is absolutely filled with noise. Scammers, hype, hopium, you name it. But here's the thing. In the long run, the market doesn't reward any of that. It rewards skill, it rewards discipline, it rewards patience. So the only question you have to ask yourself is, which one are you going to choose?